All right, guys, so I wanted to get your review sheet uploaded, so I have Luca literally in front of me, so I apologize for any crying or she just started to smile and laugh, so we'll see if we can get through this. So the first part of your review sheet is going to be some vocabulary, and you will have vocabulary on the test. So I'm going to actually go from the definitions and then find the word. So two angles that are opposite from each other and that are equal, that's called a vertical angle. So number 8 is vertical angle, so I'm going to put a letter A and cross off letter A. B, an angle with a measure that is more than 90 and less than 180 degrees. So that is an obtuse angle. So number 4 is B. A part of a line that begins with a point and extends forever, that symbol or that type of line is called a ray. So 1 should be C. 2 or more angles whose measures are equal or the same, that is congruent. Remember, we said congruent means equal. Extends forever, never bending or ending in both directions. That is just a plain old line. So for number 3, our answer is E. A specific location in space, usually marked with a dot, that is a point. 2 or more angles that add up to 180 degrees. The hint here is that we're adding and it has to equal 180. So that's supplementary, so choice G. An angle that's less than 90 degrees, remember those are our cute little baby angles. So that's choice H for a cute angle. And when we're adding up to 90, that's complementary. So this is choice I. Okay, so please go through and review those. And then if you have any questions, let us know. Determine whether they're vertical, complementary, or supplementary. We're not finding the angle measure. So we're talking about these two that form those V's. Remember which one forms those V's? It's vertical. This one right here has our right angle, so automatically we know that is a complementary angle because they add to 190 or 90. Okay, and then C, we see it's a straight line. Remember, straight angles add up to 180, so this is supplementary. Okay. 11, 12, well, just 11, it's ABC. We need to find the missing angle measures. So some of these are straight angles, some of them are vertical angles, some of them are complementary. So if we see A, we see there's a right angle symbol, so we know it has to add up to 90. So to find the remaining, we need to subtract. And when we subtract, we get 71 degrees. B, we have our V's. So there's really no math included or needed. It's just vertical angles. So we know opposite angles are equal. So that's 134 degrees. And C is just like the C up top. It's a straight angle. So we know it's supplementary. So it has to equal 180. So I'm going to take my 180 and 125 and subtract. So that's a 5 and a 5, so 55 degrees. Okay, again, if you're having any questions on these, please let us know. We have office hours, and you can go ahead and ask us then. Okay, number 12. And if I am going too fast, just pause the video, guys, or go back and rewind. Make an equation and solve for x, then find all 4 angles. So these two are directly across from each other, and they're vertical. So since they're vertical, we know they are equal to each other. So we are going to put 2x plus 35 equal to 125. And we're going to solve the equation. So we're going to draw the line down the middle. We got to get rid of this 35. So minus 35, minus 35. I get 2x equals, and 125 minus 35, let me just get my calculator, 125 minus 35 gives me 90. I'm going to divide both by 2, and I get x equals 45. Now, that's just x. This is asking us to solve for x, but then we need to find the 4 angles. So we need to substitute in to figure the rest out. So this one is 2 times 45 plus 35, and we're hoping it equals 125 because those are vertical angles. Whoops, sorry. So 2 times 45 is 90, plus 35, yep, is 125. So measure of angle A is 125. Measure of angle B is 125. Now we need to find these ones. Well, how do we find them? Well, this is a straight line, which means they're supplementary. So I'm going to take my 180 and subtract 125 from it. And I get 55 degrees. And I'm going to go in my calculator real fast. Just check. 55 plus 125. Yep, gives me 180. So C is 55. And notice D is directly across from it. So this is another vertical angle. So we don't have to do any math. That's automatically 55. Okay, looking at 13. This forms a right angle. So I know that angle A and angle B added together have to equal 90. So I'm taking x plus 6 plus my 2x plus 12, and that all has to equal 90. So I'm going to combine like terms. X's and 2x's gives me 3x. 6 and 12 gives me 18. Draw my line down the middle, subtract 18 from both sides. 3x equals 90 minus 18, 6 and a 2, divide by 3. And I'm just going to check it in my calculator too one more time. 90, oops, 72. That had to become an 8. My bad, sorry guys. See, it helps to check. So 72 divided by 3 gives me 24. So x equals 24. Now, they're asking us for the angle measure, so we need to substitute 24 anywhere we see x. So this one is x plus 6, so I'm going to do 24. Sorry. 24 plus 6, and 24 plus 6 gives me 30. So angle A is 30. And now I have 2x plus 12. Now the 2 and the x are touching, so that means to multiply. 2 times 24 is 48. 48 plus 12 gives me 60. And 30 plus 60 does equal 90. So we are 100% correct. So this kind of has two parts, just like the previous one. You need to find x, and then once you find x, you need to substitute it in. Okay, number 14. This is what we were doing yesterday. First, classify the triangle by its angles and sides, and then find the value of x. Well, we can't really classify it until we find that other x. So what we did is we added our two angles together yesterday. So 104 plus 38 gives me 142. Now, how many degrees is a full triangle? We know it's 180. So 180 minus 142 is going to give us that missing angle. It's 38. Okay. So, the value of x, first of all, is 38 degrees. Now, to classify it, I have a 38 and a 38 and a 104. So remember, Mrs. Bovenizer said we start with a first name, which is the angles. So I have one obtuse angle, so automatically that makes it an obtuse triangle. And I have two sides, and two angles that are equal. So that is either scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. And remember, isosceles is when we have two sides and two angles that are the same. Okay? So you're going to have ones very similar to this on the test. All right, number 5, exactly the same question. So we're going to take our angles, add them together, 78, 61. When we add 78 plus 61, we get 139. We subtract that from the 180. When I subtract that from 180, I get 41. So the value of x is 41 degrees. Now we need to name it. Looking at all these angles, they're all teeny tiny angles, so it's acute, because it's a cute little triangle. And I notice I have 0.8, 1.2, and 1.1. All sides are completely different. All angles are completely different. So is that scalene, isosceles, or equilateral? They're all different, so it's scalene. So this is an acute scalene triangle. Okay, and last question on our review sheet. Classify the triangle by its angles and sides. Now this one only gives us one angle. How do we know what the second angle is? Well, we know this little box here means 90 degrees, so that's really important that we know that. So let's add our 90 and our 66. So that gives us 156, and 180 minus 156 gives us 24. So our missing x is 24 degrees. Now we need to classify it. Does it have all acute angles? Does it have a right angle? Or does it have an obtuse? Well, we know that little box and that 90 degrees means it's a right triangle. And then I have 1, 2, 3 completely different angles. So I know this side's not even labeled, but that's okay because we know we can just look at the angles. If there's no angles that are equal, then it's scalene. If 2 are equal, then it's isosceles. And if none are equal, then it's equilateral. And looking at this, none are equal, so it's another scalene. All right, so that is it for the review sheet. If you guys have any questions at all, please make sure you email myself or Mrs. Bovenizer, or you come to our office hours and ask questions, okay? Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye.